8:04, 8:03, and we're live. Yes,
tricked you. You thought there was 8 more minutes to wait.
Yeah,
There's not.
That's what happened.
Why don't you guys come sit with us?
Yeah,
come on.
Get in
come
here.
on.
Yeah. So what happened is that all the clients are
got
updating.
2 headsets. There you go.
And
yeah,
for some
come
of
on,
you
buddy.
who are curious, the StarCraft Remastered official release was right around 1 Pacific. So there's a whole bunch of new stuff coming down the pipelines where everyone can get and be playing all at the same time. And we saw that these people had to download, re-download, re-update, repair, do all the sort of installation-y, bar-filly things. And we saw that the timer said 10 minutes, and Dan and I were like, put us on.
Put us on. I can talk about Brood War forever, especially with these guys. We already met G5.
Yep.
But this man here, this is actually really funny because I posted like a picture of me and you and Nick because we were like the first 3 to show up.
Yep.
And no one had any idea, man. They were all like saying, who are they calling?
Are you serious?
Huh?
Who's that old man in the picture?
Yeah.
Wait.
No, they thought he was. Who did they think?
I'm not hearing Legionnaires
like
Mike Spencer.
G5 or something.
Oh. Okay.
Anyways, people just were so confused. This is Legionnaire, everybody. This is the man. How many kills did your Reaver have?
57.
57 kills. He had the record in professional games for a long time.
I think I had it for about 9 years.
Yeah.
Until very near the end of Brood War before StarCraft 2 came out.
There we go.
And a Protoss versus Zerg game. Some Protoss noob. He was just sitting over there, didn't do any work whatsoever.
No.
The Zerglings just ran in, kept dying to the Reaver.
Yeah.
So the guy beat my record.
Yeah,
Very
dude,
disappointing.
We got to do some story time. So once upon a time, Legionnaire, I understand that you went to Korea to teach English and just play Brood War. Is that right?
No. Completely wrong.
Really, you know what's going on too, don't you?
No, this is great. This is perfect because now everyone will remember, like, oh shit, Dana, I got owned by this Legionnaire guy, and now everyone wants to know your story. So why don't you overcome my lie with the truth?
Okay. So I used to play StarCraft when it first came out. It was a great game at the time, still is, even better now with the great graphics.
Yeah.
So I played it early on. I got pretty good for Australia. It's a big fish in a small pond situation. We suck compared to everywhere else. I qualified to the Australian finals of the World Cyber Games. Went over to Korea for the first time. I was the only Australian to win a show match afterwards. They set up a show match between some Korean players and the Australian team on ITV, I think it was. So it's broadcast all the time on live TV over there. So I was the only one that won a match. They offered me to stay on, and I was like, what?
Wait, who did you play in that match? What was the matchup?
I think it was Samjung. So
the Protoss.
Yeah.
He was the #1 in the world before Slayer's Boxer came along.
Yep.
But then he went off to the army, and this was like his comeback tribute thing. And
and you ruined it.
Yeah.
Oh my! And we never heard from Samjung again.
Yeah. He went back to the army, just hid in shame.
So yeah, they offered me to stay. I didn't really know what pro gaming was at the time. I was just like, just playing the game because I love it. So I was like, no thanks, I'm going home. So I went home. I realized how big pro gaming was in Korea. I started practicing a lot more. Next year for the WCG Australia, I qualified as #1. Went over to Korea, and I just extended my visa for 3 months. Just to see if I could make it, what could happen. I wasn't really sure at the time. We were staying at the Australian organisers' accommodation, like cousin or sis, like something or other over in Korea. We're just staying at their house, practicing in a PC bung all day. It was myself and another Australian, Razor.
Yeah.
So it was, I don't know, it wasn't in any way related to pro gaming, really. We were just hanging out at a PC cafe playing games. We extended our visa one more time, I think it was. We got, on the second last day before we were going to come back to Australia, we got picked up by a sponsor. Long story for that one. They had a big fight with Smuffed and Elky and all of this.
What was the sponsor team that you were on?
It was...
Was that AMD or Hexatron?
It was iVenture. No.
eNature.
No,
eNature, right?
No,
iVenture. It was iVenture Legion, I
before.
remember. Because you couldn't fit your full name Legionnaire because you ran out of characters.
So it was iVenture Legion, yeah, I think it was.
Oh my gosh, I remember that name. You absolutely demolished me every game we played.
So we were on this team. We were getting paid, not very much. We're practicing all the time. I qualified through to the Amateur League. It was before Courage League, which is where all the amateurs get together. They try and, like, the top couple manage to become semi-pro gamers, and they'll get picked up by pro teams. So it was before that. 511 players, top 16 go onto TV. I made it to the top 16, made it to the top 8, lost because some guy race switched, and they didn't tell me about it.
Oh, that's
Dirty
the
about that.
worst.
Still dirty. So after that,
when you say race switch, do you mean like the countdown was going down and he switched at the last
That's
second?
the
it was the
dirtiest.
countdown. So it was meant to be a Protoss versus Protoss.
Yeah.
And it goes 5, 4, 3, and right at the last second, you can just switch over to the race. And he went Zerg both times. So the first time he did it, and he apologized afterwards, says, "I'm sorry, I won't do it for the second game." He did it again the second game.
Oh, that's filth.
awful.
And who was
It was-
that player? What was his name?
That was gone.
No
Oh,
way.
no.
Oh my God.
Of
So the-
course
the
he would. Of
Samsung-
course he would.
That scum.
Yeah, and
I still hate that guy to this
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Bad karma to
I
him.
hate him now.
yeah, no, he's awful. Yeah, Gunn was a player who was notorious for actually doing this throughout his entire career. He never even played a single race. He would do weird switcheroo things because in StarCraft, there's, I would say 90% of players play a single race. And something like 10 to 15%, it's actually pretty substantial, do one matchup in 2 races, but they don't play the non-mirror. So I would play like Zerg vs. Terran, Zerg vs. Protoss, but instead of playing Zerg vs. Zerg, I would play Protoss vs. Zerg. That's like what LZ Gamer did.
Yeah.
Or the Terran players who don't want to do Terran versus Terrans, they do Protoss versus Terran. Like,
Yeah.
it's a pretty substantial portion of people. But I think Gunn literally would only play the matchup in the advantageous direction. He would only play Zerg versus Protoss, Protoss versus Terran, and Terran versus Zerg. And then occasionally, if a map favored one race, he would just switch. I mean, it's amazing to see. He got his starts switching his races at the last second during Countdown.
Yeah, so they allowed it, and it was that realization, that moment where you just realize how seriously they take it. Because for them, it's a career choice. It really is.
Yeah.
It's I want to be a pro gamer. I want to join a pro team. Imyohan made multi-millions of dollars from playing StarCraft.
Slayer
but that
sponsors
was
Imyohan. Yeah.
yeah. So that was my initiation, but through that tournament, I got top 8, so I became a semi-pro gamer, which has some advantages. And it was through there that I became friends with one of the pro teams, because I used to use them as practice partners for it, and they offered me a spot. I joined them. That was Pirates of Space, POS, not the POS you're thinking of.
Yeah.
So-
No, that's yeah. Korean pro teams have a long history of choosing the worst possible names.
Oh, yeah.
Like
KT Fingerbang.
KT Finger Boom. Finger Boom.
They changed it to Finger Bang, though, didn't they?
It was. It went from something to so KT, the KT Telecom Pro team, were going through a series of like rebrandings, and for one day they were KT Finger Boom, and that's
hilarious.
That's actually the funniest thing. And then the next day they changed to KT Rollster, and they had like our little roller coaster image. But everyone's like, no, we remember yesterday very clearly. 10 years later, we still remember that. But Pirates of Space was one of the early big all-star pro teams. July, one of the most notable player on there.
Was amazing.
The American Terran Assem was on the Pirates of Space pro team.
Woo!
Who are some of the other notable? There was
Torado,
Light was on.
Sinji, I believe, Junitos, Sharky. He's the guy that invented the Muta control group.
That's right.
Yep.
A lot of people forget that Shark did that.
Yeah.
Didn't he become like a TV star, if I recall?
He did for a while.
Yeah.
It was the main host
so.
for one of the gaming shows. So he was doing that for a while. He's now the manager of Kongdo.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
he's the manager of that team.
Cool.
So that's one of the pro teams over in Korea now. So he's moved on to that. Blue K was one of the players
K.
on
Oh
the
right,
team.
yeah.
So it was a really poor team. It was one of the poorest teams over there at the time. It's just a group of guys, pretty much like us, where we just loved the game, we loved playing it,
Yeah.
and we practiced it. And July Zerg went on to be like world #1 for a while.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was
First
it was a
Zerg
lot
to
of
ever
fun.
win a Golden Mouse, and the second player ever won a Golden Mouse. And he won 2 of the OGN Star Leagues. Oh yeah, so the Golden Mouse is winning the OGN Star League 3 times.
Yeah.
Which has been done very, very rarely. And it's really amazing to see that there's this consistency of who the top 50 or so are. But it's just so hard to win those tournaments multiple times.
Jalizerg actually is like in my opinion, the most impressive out of all of the Golden Mouse winners because when he won it,
5 year
it's
span.
spread. Yeah, it's like
there were long gaps. Between
yeah,
all
and
of them.
no one else did it like that. Everyone else like would win them pretty close in succession, but like his last OGN win was
2008 versus Best.
It was so far, and I mean the second one was years before that.
It was in 2004 versus Reach, I think it was.
It might have been.
He won in 2004, 8, and 5, I want to say. And
But that is
all of them
forever
in the month
in
of
Pro
July.
Gamers.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a really funny thing too.
I can't believe I don't remember the other one that he won. No, it was against Good Friend.
Oh,
Against Good Friend.
He turns out to be a bad friend, actually. Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, because when he got good, he just like threw away everybody. He's like, "Oh no, I don't like you anymore. Just
Tell us the
won't
story.
play with you."
What
anymore."
happened?
hurt
What
you,
did
didn't
he?
he? He hurt you.
Were
I used to
friends with him?
practice TVT with him, and then he became a pro, and he was just like, "I never need to speak to you again." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's cool."
Got ghosted, man. Oh, that stinks.
Yeah.
So how long were you a pro gamer?
So after I got picked up by them, I was over in Korea for 3 years.
Yeah.
So I was there for quite a long
And
time. I
you-
think the third longest out of any of the foreigners.
Yeah, you were there a long
and
time.
Assem were kind of like the last foreigners who were in pro league consistently, and you all killed the team, right? Team
Yeah.
that Boxer was on.
It was like a reverse
was-
sweep, if I recall. Right?
No, I was the
Was it
first
not?
player
Oh,
out.
okay.
First player
So-
just swept it. No problem. Too easy.
Yeah, that was I can't remember the team name now.
That's okay.
That's
What was it? The Orion pro
No.
team when Boxer had the Orion.
Orion.
No, it was before them.
Well,
I don't know.
No idea.
the internet.
It's just a
knows.
little thing called Wikipedia, and if we go there to Legionnaires page,
I
by
still
the way, can
remember
you
the
give
games,
us?
by the way.
Can you give us a wink though?
An
Known as
awesome-
the wink toss.
So that came about. It was actually July Zerg and myself. It was when we were on Pirates of Space team. There was a TV station. It was like a second-tier TV station called ITV, and they had their own competition. July Zerg and I dominated that competition. We were the number 1 and number 2 for wins versus loss ratio. I think I was 7-1, and he was pretty much the same. So we made it all the way to the final. I think we lost to KT in the end. Some junior Zerg guy we'd never heard of destroyed us both. It was pretty embarrassing. So, but yeah, it was at that competition. I was playing Good Friend, actually. It was at the startup, and you can always tell when the camera was on you because the little red light would go on. And so I just saw it there where it was a little bit awkward, just, red light comes on. And so I just winked at it. And so I got Wink Toss as the nickname after that.
It's a sick nickname.
Oh my
That is a
gosh!
good nickname.
I'm about to say the team name that you forread, and I read it and I just got chills. Tuna SG. Oh my gosh! Yeah, there
So long
were
ago.
so many names because the thing that's weird about the StarCraft's history compared to other esports history is that it's essentially like the longest, along with a few other things. The fighting game community has been around for a million years. Some of the shooting community has been around for a million years, but StarCraft has actually had a 19-year history that spiked up pretty huge right from the get-go and just stayed huge and got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until we're here today.
Yep.
So there's just all these names that you just remember. Oh my gosh! And the next match begins. It's gonna be in control again. For any of you who don't own StarCraft Remastered, you can get it. You literally can get it right now, and you can play on this map, Python, another very standard map. We got In Control up in the top, and on the right side, it's Mr. White Raw, and they're playing for elimination.
Ooh, Python. This is the most recent Lost Temple before StarCraft 2 came out. The map that everyone played every single game, just a solid macro map.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite maps. It's got hidden island expansions in the bottom left, top right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You love anything that a shuttle can do, right?
anything with an island is a good map.
Yeah.
Back in your day, there was a lot of island maps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always felt like, in all the games I played against you, if we ever played straight up, I felt really comfortable. And you didn't do that very often.
No,
And
because I felt uncomfortable doing it.
and you always did the weirdest, like, one base shuttle speed zealot reaver push early, and right when I would defend it, you would have taken an island before your natural expansion.
Mm-hmm.
It was I would like, what? Like, how
You're giving away all my secret builds, by the way.
I just played him, and he was throwing up hidden bases all over the place. It was throwing me for a loop.
Oh, that's right. Because your theory was if you expand to 2 places and they kill 1, then you're up in expansion.
Yep. Because they've almost mined out their main, and you've got a fresh one.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're already seeing some interesting openings. I actually hate Python. I can't stand this map because the attack positions are very, very close, actually. And most maps have a little bit more breathing room. And I play Zerg. I don't want anyone messing with me early on. And White Raw is going for one of the oldest school-style openings ever. Gateway into Gas Geyser.
He's a little bit unlucky in this case because the Zerg started so close to him, it just flies across and you can see their build order straight away. But in the reverse way, you see the Overlord, so you know exactly where they are, so you can send the probe in return.
Yep.
Yeah, this is so old though. Like, once Bisu came along, this type of one base play just you would not see anyone do it anymore in pro matches unless the map is really weird, like Outsider. I mean, this is not something you see.
Yeah, this died out about 2005, I think it was. The BC build was the end of 2005. So it was either 2 gate openings where you try and pressure, or it's 1 gate, Corsair, maybe into DT, that sort of style. Protoss has had a really hard time back in the day, because if you get no visibility of the base, you can't see what their tech switch is, which is where Zerg get half their power. You can't tell if it's going to be a Hydra Blast, you can't tell if they're go Mutalisk, and you can only defend well against one of them. You can't defend against both.
Well,
so in some cases, you gotta guess.
Yeah, he's gonna get in there. See how many drones he can get.
Ooh, some nice drone drilling.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's 1.
Yeah, this is still okay. I mean, the number one most important thing in StarCraft is to know. Oh, wait. In Control is getting a very good angle. The Zealot was trying to get into a good position, but look at that. Perfect glitching by In Control to kill off the drone. And an important thing to note is that the number one determining input of who wins the fight is whose army is bigger. That is the most important factor. And there's other things like micro and having the right units and having a good position, all these things, but truly more is the most important thing. And this is, coming back to what you were saying, Legionnaire, this is what makes it hard to do a one-base opening versus Zerg. It's almost impossible to have more in any fight.
And this is interesting because usually on a one-base gas opening... Oh! Nice. Well, I was going to say, usually with a one-base gas opening, you see a Stargate. And so occasionally you'll see a Scout. Usually people start pumping out Corsairs, going to town on the Overlords. But he actually went Robo. So...
Yeah, is he just going to Zealot drop and take the island?
I think he's going to Reaver drop and take the island.
Huh.
Maybe... Well, we'll see how it goes.
This is very interesting pressuring by White Raw, moving with Zealots and this Dragoon out, and In Control just wants to keep this Overlord alive, so he just tried to target fire, and now is switching gears and is going to just try to do a Scout, which is pretty valuable. And right now, In Control is more than comfortable to just build defensive structures. He has tons more money.
Yeah, I think White Raw was hoping that he would have to pump out more Lings, but intelligently he threw up some Sunkens for defense. And there's a Reaver. Reavers are incoming.
Yeah, and you're so close to the back of their minerals. Like, Python is kind of a funny map because there are like, positional imbalances in a certain way. Like, for instance, the minerals for White Raw, like, their back is to the wall. It's hard to attack those minerals, but you look at where In Control's at, there's like 1,000 acres of space there. That's where I make my depots. I mean, it's so much room to get up there with a Reaver.
And In Control's not expecting this at all. He has a Spore up because he's expecting air.
There's that Zealot drop I was talking about, by the way.
And it's so
this
early.
This is a White Raw thing.
Yeah, no, I can see Tasteless and Nyoka just shaking their heads right over here, seeing this drop. Nick's like, I'm going to do this on ladder tonight. Oh gosh, and this is the painful moment. You now know that you're already losing stuff, and look at this, going for a key structure, and he needs to build a den. He needs to build a Hydralisk den right now. He needs to build a Hydralisk den. All right, spawning pool's down. This means that right now In Control cannot make units. That's
not a good space to be.
He does have a Hydralisk Den. Okay, now In Control needs to play super defensively. He's probably going to lose a hatchery in his main. White Raw is playing this out super annoyingly, super well. This is a pure tactics micro opening by White Raw.
Not special tactics, though. That's a specific build in PvT we can talk about later.
This is actually dirty tactics.
Yeah.
In Control was expecting a Reaver, which would have turned up a lot later, so he thought he had more time to prepare. That's the beauty of StarCraft.
Yeah.
You can make them think you're doing something, and you just pull out something different.
The hump, man, I'm telling you. Oh, and this is absolutely a remaster of the game we played as kids, because look at that Scarab. Oh, look at it go. Oh. All right, now, a lot of those Scarabs have gone to waste, but slow Zerglings and no Hydras versus this. I mean, this is slow death for In Control.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty hard one for him to come back from here. I love how White Raw is just like making gateways at home, making units.
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Imagine that. It's like this is just what White Raw's day is today, is using shuttles with Reavers in them.
He doesn't like shuttles, does he? He's got something against them.
Oh, that's going to be huge.
Or 1.
Yeah, or 1.
It's going to be huge or not, or somewhere in between.
Yeah, I know. It didn't go so well. I mean, the big thing is it needs Hydralisk speed, but White Raw is smartly exploiting this, saying you only have 2 hatcheries, so you can either make units or make drones, and you got to make units, so your economy's stuck.
By the way, you guys ever find it's harder to attack south with a Reaver into Sunkens than it is to attack north?
100%.
Yeah. They walk into Sunken range. It's the weirdest thing.
They don't shoot down ramps either.
Oh,
yeah.
God, that's GG. GG, classic mind games coming out.
Mind games.
Mind games.
He's been very aggressive today. He's just going all in every game.
Well, if he believes in his micro, you know, going into those macro games against Zerg can be a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
If he held onto the shuttles in the previous game, he would have been fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I think that there is a subtle little hint from In Control. Just the Dragoon that went to kill that Overlord. If that Overlord stays alive, that's a huge early warning signal, because there's this rubbly ground that units can't stand on, that your Overlord can float over and easily see the back of your base. But because In Control lost that Overlord, he didn't have the vision, and because he didn't have the vision, he wasn't able to prepare in the main base, and you only need about 20 seconds to get a Sunken started.
Oh yeah, he had to guess at that point, and he guessed. He was thinking air was coming, because that's usually what's coming there, and the Reaver just completely threw him off guard.
But that's Python. That's why. Get that map out of the way. Play a real map, like some Fighting Spirit.
A real map. You watch, it'll be Outsider next, and then it's just another one-sided game, but In Control takes it.
Yeah, Outsider is just a beautiful map.
Yes, said the Zerg player day 9.
Or you can I have like a 19% win rate on Outsider. I have no clue
Really?
what I'm doing on that. I'm horrible at Outsider. Yeah.
Outsider was like almost ruined the last season of ASL all by itself. It was just like every Protoss would just die to Zerg there. That's it.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, look at me, I have no gas. This is fun. I don't know. That's my impression of all the Protosses in ASL last season.
It was pretty good. That's pretty
Yeah,
good. That's how I would always
That's what they
feel.
sounded
Yeah.
like.
Hey,
It was like, guys, stop whining. Come on.
Well, you know, we don't know what the next map is going to be, but
I bet you it's Fighting Spirit.
It looks like Fighting Spirit.
we hear the down doots. We hear the noises. The map is starting. We're gonna pray. Let's see what the map is. It's going to be. It's like Python again. I should get toasted. It's Fighting Spirit, the most standard map.
The most played map right now.
I know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. By the way, I love these boxes that show us where they're looking in the observer mode. Have you noticed this on the minimap?
Oh, yeah.
There's colored boxes.
Oh yeah.
In Control with the callouts. White Raw just like sends a pro to the middle of the map and builds a pylon. 2-8 late. And down at the bottom right, we got White Raw. In Control says, once you begin the game of cheese, it never stops. You know, I am so thrilled that everyone who has played is actually using the full range of possible strategy. Because, I mean, there's a lot of, you know, if you watch players like Last or Flash or Jadong or Bisu or Larva, they have a lot of love for going to late game with similar setups and similar openings. And because there's so many eyes on those players right now, it's easy to go, oh yeah, well that's the norm. And they certainly are the modern strategies. But that doesn't mean that gas first out of In Control ain't a legit thing Zergs do.
It totally is. By the way, is that pylon?
I don't think he can fit
I don't
an
think he
Nexus
can
Oh
put an
no,
Nexus down.
he got it.
I don't know.
Dude,
he
it
just
doesn't
got it.
look like it.
Maybe-
I don't think he can fit
I
a
don't think
Nexus there. Oh,
Because it's hilarious how far away you have to build from minerals in this game.
I know. Oh my God! And
I
White
think
Ross
he blocked it.
I think it's fine.
I think it's
It's-
fine too. I think it's just
If you
fine.
measure the pylon going in, I think it's okay.
I think it's just fine.
I think you guys are full of it, and he's not going to get a Nexus down.
I mean, part of me hopes that happens because it's so important to me to have solidarity with White Raw. All right, this is the moment. Okay, no, he has to build.
Well, he has to build the cannon, right? So.
Yeah. Now we amazingly haven't seen this sort of play yet. This is not a cheese opening from In Control, for what it's worth. Always Protosses want to early expand, build a forge, a gateway, a cannon behind, and get a Nexus up. Just get a lot of economy started up. And the order in which you make those buildings is dependent upon what you scout. If you scout Zerg early expanding, you expand and then build a cannon. If Zerg's cheesing, you got to build the cannons first and then expand.
The way he's going about doing this wall, it feels like if those are 6 Zerglings, he can just run on in.
That's exactly why this is a really nice opening for Zerg on maps that have a slightly wider
He
entrance.
does fit the Nexus.
Oh my gosh.
This guy is so good.
His-
Look at that.
Wow, that's unbelievable. He was able to expand his own natural.
He is so good. How does he do it?
Oh, that's funny.
This is how you can tell that White Raw's been practicing for this.
Okay, here's an important moment.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jeff
Using
is going
the probe
for
there
it,
is
man.
very clever because it makes the Zerglings, like it blocks off the entrance, so the
Yeah.
Zerglings have to run around.
Wyra's
Yeah,
so
but
smart.
now 2 Speedlings in the base.
He
Like,
wants to-
Jaedong wins the game from here, right?
Yeah, this is...
But is In Control Jaedong?
Well, if those were lurkers, he would have this, but I'm not sure.
Now, what In Control needs to wait for is the gas geyser to finish, because then there's 3 probes exposed on the gas line, and that's where you can wind up getting guaranteed pickoffs. Oh my God, Jeff truly is playing very cheesy. He's already put units back into gas. Typically, what Zerg does right now is only building drones going up to 5 hatcheries right now. But we see the gas geyser for In Control in his main base, and this is beautiful. This is exactly why this is considered a acceptable opening for Zerg.
This is so annoying for Wyra.
So is the most annoying thing. Don't.
This is
God, that is just...
Is doing a good job.
Yeah, he is. Do you see these probes jumping all over each other? Oh my God, he's lost so many probes. How many kills are on those lings? 1.
And he's killed
And
2
2.
probes. He actually,
He's so
There you
good.
go.
These guys are crazy. White Raw, all right, already makes a Nexus at his natural. That for sure that pylon was in the way. Okay, for sure the pylon was in the way. Now In Control, killing 2 probes with his lings. Oh, guys. Oh, guys, spread the word. This is the sickest tournament.
he wrote an I and dotted it. Ooh. Now, In Control is doing another very common follow-up. If my opponent has been delayed enough by this kind of pressure, they will not be able to handle an early Hydra bust. And Hydra busts take a few forms. The most common one is you get range first, so you get these slow slug pace Hydras up to the front, but they can shoot down that gateway that's at the entrance before there's any Dragoons or range units.
I think he's going to scout it with these lings. Or with these zealots. There's a little pressure. And it'll give him enough time to put up some cannons.
Now, if In Control went for speed first, which is the more aggressive all-inish version, then these zealots will die. They don't look like they have speed yet.
It's like a micro map, but he's not microing.
Now, this is slightly difficult to micro as In Control, but oh, that's beautiful. Left nice little small hole in his formation to pull through.
Let's see.
Okay.
Protoss
Hydras
just
are
needs
going.
to buy time now until the cannons get up.
Yeah, but you see with this pylon placement from White Raw, he doesn't actually have space to build cannons, so he's going to try to get cannons on the outside, because if he can't...
Oh, he almost snuck those zealots back in. This
is
is
a little
gonna
bit
be
late.
close.
So close. Oh, he's going to have to lose even more probes. Shooting the probes is great here. He's just going to continue to pick off probes.
Oh, look at this flank of the Zealots. Oh, they die. Like, oh my god, Zerg is so good.
Now, In Control is going to show a lot of patience here. He's going to wait until he feels like he has enough to run up and try to one-shot these. And the key number is 11, because that means your volley of 11 Hydralisks will kill a cannon in 2 shots.
I don't think he can do it. I think his economy is too low. If White Ra gets one more cannon on the high ground, he's safe.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do from here? Oh, just make another hatchery.
Yeah, he's not continuing it.
Which he scouts immediately, and now he can get into legs and storm and just feel good.
Yeah, the important thing is the Zealot leg upgrade.
He's getting +1 leg upgrade. He's getting that Templar Archives. I love White Ra's position here. Oh, he's going Robo too, or Reaver.
Wow.
DT drop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, going straight for Dark Templar and Reaver, very...
He's going Reaver DT?
No.
Or is this G5 playing over here?
I mean, I've seen this on Fighting Spirits some. Reavers are very good at defending cramped positions, and all the third bases on this map are very small, cramped locations. And then DTs are, well, they're DTs. I don't know how else to put that. DTs do their thing.
Yeah,
I'm invisible.
It's pretty sick.
White Ra's doing a good job scouting on this map, because if he hadn't seen that third base, he would still be thinking it's an all-in. So he'd have to be a lot more defensive. He wouldn't be able to skip on a few things. And that's what StarCraft is. It's just a game of taking as many shortcuts to try and get advantages as you can. And scouting gives you knowledge, and it allows you to do whatever you want.
Oh, In Control sees the Dark Templar, and, you know, for all the economic pain that In Control's in, as long as he gets up to about 5 hatcheries and eventually a 6th on these 3 bases, then his economy will begin to catch back up. He just needs to not take damage from harass, because like you were saying earlier about cutting corners and getting little advantages, also having to make little sacrifices over time compounds into fights that look like, oh, I just didn't have anything.
He needs an Overlord there. He's trying to kill the eggs in case it's an Overlord trying to hatch. Because without an Overlord, he's got no detection. That DT can go to town forever.
Yeah, if any of you play StarCraft 2, all Overlords detect in this game.
Yep.
No
Another
need for an
big difference
overseer.
for DTs is if they one kill a drone, you won't hear about it.
And here comes
Said
the
ping on
biggest
the mini-map, but
surprise.
no.
Yeah.
There's no
Oh.
way he suspects a Reaver here.
I mean, this... No.
there's no way in hell.
Instant
Quick
reaction
response,
speed.
though. Yeah.
Gets one.
I love watching Scarabs. Are we going to scream or not?
Oh,
And White Ra loses focus. It looks like he will lose this. Reaver... Okay, there it falls.
looks like he's going to take down the hatchery, though.
Yeah, and he's got a DT in the main as well.
Everywhere.
Oh my gosh, this is so savage to watch. White
Doesn't
Ra-
matter if you can see him. The DT is amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
And attacking all 3 bases at once, Zerg just doesn't have enough units to cover all of them.
Look
so
at
he's
the
gonna
supply
lose
right now.
units somewhere.
look
White
at
Ra
the
is
supply.
doubling his supply.
I mean, this
And
is
it's
what's
2
really
base against 2 base.
yeah, it's what's really interesting about White Ra's style in this game. He was able to deal a lot of damage, but note how few units he had. That was 2 Dark Templar, 1 Reaver, 1 Shuttle, and that's not a lot of stuff. And what is the accumulated forces of White Ra right now? Well, it's 2 Zealots. But units are coming soon! Right? This is the danger of, you know, overly harassing. But White Ra has set himself up economically so well now.
Whenever any race goes for some sort of all-in rush and it fails, you're always at a huge economic disadvantage. And that's exactly what In Control,
Yeah.
what happened to him.
I would say even more so with Zerg.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to get cost efficient at this point to come back in any way. With all this splash and everything. Ugh.
Well, it seems like he's droning up. It looks like he's just hoping that White Ra doesn't attack him anytime soon, and he gets back in this game.
Well, I like that he's. That has to be. Do you think that is Dragoon range in there, or +1 air? Because I feel like
Dragoon
right now
range.
the only thing that White Ra could be scared of is a Mutaswitch.
Well, I think he might also be scared of lurkers, so you need that goon range in case lurkers do come out, if he just tries to turtle up.
I mean, the thing that really I feel like White Raw has to get Dragoon range now because now he needs to kill the Cybernetics core, that pylon, and that cannon to be able to let any units get out of his base. Because right now only Zealots and Templar can leave.
Yep.
He's walled himself in.
But he still fit that Nexus in there, man.
That's amazing. How does he do it?
Look at that Archon.
Yeah,
It's got a red shimmer to it. Does this one have mind control, or?
No, the Archon models are beautiful.
Yeah.
This entire
SCR.
It looks just like Tasteless.
all the graphics they did here. I mean, everything just looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
I really do like it.
Yeah, you know, like I think all of us old school Brood War folk were a little worried that it was going to be like the Marine has been reimagined.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, like those are Zealots. Those Zealots look like Zealots. All the models just look so nice. Oh
no.
White Ross Day! Okay.
He does not like shuttles.
No! Okay. This is a very nice transition from White Raw. He's building an extremely fast force, so that way he can punish any expanding or mistakes out of In Control.
There they are. Does he have an
He lost
observer?
his ability to push.
Oh,
though.
yeah, he does.
Once you lose the Reavers are what's going to push through the Lurkers. They're going to push through the Sunkens and allow you to win the game. So it's going to drag on a bit longer, guys.
Did In Control take that right expansion?
Yes.
Excuse me, White Raw take the right expansion.
He tried. I think a Zergling shut it
Yeah,
down.
yeah. I mean, this is one of these hallmarks of an expert player. Like when you are in a horrible position, you still go, I got to scout for expansions. I got to send units there to shut them down. You know. Oh, Storm.
3-6 Storm.
Oh, but a
Good
pick
snipe
off
on the Observer.
Yeah. Oh. So this is a classic stall tactic for Zerg. You build lurkers and things to kill observers. And the Protoss has an infinitely large army, and you hope that you can deal with infinity later.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to get to this point. It was looking pretty bad there for a while, and he droned up.
Yeah.
Just hoped he didn't attack, and now he's got lurkers protecting him.
And when you have a spore next to those lurkers, I remember clear as day one day when Noni was trying to explain to me that the hardest thing in the entire game is keeping observers alive in a situation like this.
Here he goes.
Yeah, I mean, White Raw is being very smart. He's just building overwhelming amounts of units, and this is not an efficient fight for Protoss. Protoss is not getting dollar for dollar good value here, but all Protoss has to do is break this, and then he can win the game. So there's the bust through coming. There's the GG, and White Raw will take it 2-0.
Wow.
Well played.
Yeah. Some good games. Unfortunately, Jeff going to be out. I guess that means we get him on the couch more. So everything according to plan.
Dude, this is the best. This is the best part about this sort of event is like
Alexi.
when every single person walked in here, we were all just like,
No, I'll get it.
So
I'll get it. You're a
happy.
Protoss player.
all right, no, look, just both you leave. We don't want either of you.
Yeah,
Let's get an entirely new crew here.
I want to do that Nyokan game next. He's the only other Terran in the tournament, man. He's the only other real man.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's only me and him.
I'm rooting for an Ioken then, man. Go Dan. Don't lose, man.
For Artosis instead. Come on.
Get the microphone away from him. Get up here, Lexi. Hey, congratulations, White Raw.
Thank you.
Well played.
Finally.
Oh, yes. White Raw, tell me about game one. You open with the ultimate cheese.
But I see Jeff made a lot of Sunkens on his expand. And of course, I understand he not make units, he made drones. And
Yeah.
of course, close position, it's I want made river push, but I see like he not have units, why I not made drops
Yeah.
with
So
four zealots and
that wasn't your game plan going into it? You're going to do something else and you switched.
yeah, it's switch, but you see it's a very close position. And this is good if Zerg make a lot of drones, not build units. This
Nice.
old strategy.
What were you going to do if you didn't see all the Sunkens?
Sunkens, like if he protect himself, I just made a switch with 3 gateways Dragon push with range, and 2 rivers attack in front. If he, if my drop didn't work, so this is my plan on the
Well,
game.
I was thinking, like, what about before you even built the robotics facility? What was your plan?
My plan was build robotic facility. It's
a
little bit more zealots. Not let him at beginning made much drones. So my first zealots kill his 1 drone and I think some zerglings, and his workers didn't work a couple of times.
Yeah.
And, I just switched on the edge, and Jeff didn't scouting well my base. and of course he didn't see
Yeah.
Roba and start build Sunkens.
Now, what about game 2? Holding things off. What is this like Reaver DT 3-base attack shit? What is that?
I have a lot of resources. I see, when coming Gidalisk push, and I want to make the River just in case if Jeff continue building mass Gidalisk, because like I have 3 Sunkens, but if he made like 12 or more Gidalisk, it's easy kill my cannons. And River will help my protect, and sometimes DT showed control map and not let him made first base. At least like elite harass him.
Yeah.
But one DT kill his third base and River drop, and another one again harass his natural. And plus I check what he not have Spire.
Yeah.
So I will feel very good myself after this.
Well, I know that you are a legend in StarCraft 2, but you were first a legend in Brood War. Nick was saying that you were actually full-time Brood War.
Yeah, I started play since 99 and play before came out StarCraft 2. So my last official game was WCG 2010 in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Damn.
How did you go in that?
I leave group and lose in I don't remember quarterfinal or something like that. I lose to Polish Protoss 2-1. Dravian, if I not make mistake.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
But I was full-time playing StarCraft before, like 6 months when StarCraft 2 came out. We have a lot of events, and it was my official last Brood War game on tournaments.
All right, what is your absolute favorite strategy in Brood War? What is your favorite way to win a game?
Using shuttles.
Shadows.
Shuttles?
Yes.
It shuttles is going Reaver, DT, High Templar, everything but Zealots and Dragoons.
My favorite units, I want to say, it's Arbiter in for Protoss. Any combination with Arbiter works super good. So Zealots, Dragons, Psy Storm, and Arbiter.
What is the worst strategy in StarCraft 1?
Zealot Rush.
Really? What's wrong with the Zealot Rush?
You doing it or them doing it?
Legionnaire's a Zealot Rusher
No,
here.
when I do it and Koreans easy hold it. When sometimes I play Zerg for fun, I never hold it.
Yeah, I mean, it is so easy to lose games in Brood War if you don't know exactly how to defend it. Like I remember I've just been super happy. StarCraft Remastered is coming out. I've been playing random, and I spawn as a Terran, and I'm like, all right, awesome. And then the Protoss sends 1 Zealot, and I just lose the entire game. Because I have to build the supply depot next to the barracks so I can like run the Marine through and mic around, but I don't do that, so I just like immediately die.
Yeah, it's all about practice and experience.
Yeah.
At the beginning, when I see Zerlink, I write GG. Coming in my base, I just finish my gateway, starting build Zealot, but of course I have time building Zealots, but it was like super scary when coming 6 Zerlings and you get only 1 unit, you don't know how to protect.
6 Lings versus 1 Zealot is like how it always begins. So I want to take a look at the brackets real fast as we get our next match started up, because in this group we've had White Ra just eliminate Mr. In Control. So that means that White Ra will be advancing to the lower final, which we're not going to be doing right now. So we're going to be up in winners. We're going to see Draco go up against Mr. Nyokin. So that match is going to be happening next. Whoever wins that will advance to the Final Four in this completely arbitrary, non-competitive LAN party that we're all having up in San Francisco. So we're going to go to a brief break, and when we come back, we're just going to play more Brood War. And there's going to be a number on the screen. We might be back before that number hits 0. We just kind of want to sit on the sofa and talk about Brood War. But I need to get a delicious, tasty water, so we'll be back.